From the outside, you look like someone who doesn't care. You walked in 15 minutes late, you did the apology, you sat down, everyone in the room made a small adjustment they shouldn't have had to make. And the impression you left, even with people who like you, is that you valued whatever you were doing more than them. What almost nobody around you knows is that for the past 90 minutes, you have been at war with the clock. You knew the meeting was at 3. You set an alarm. You set 2 alarms. At 1:47, you were already saying in your head, I have plenty of time. At 2:31, you were saying, I should leave in 5 minutes. At 2:42, you were still saying it. And somewhere between 2:42 and 2:51, you watched yourself, with a kind of helpless fascination, decide to do one more small thing. I want to talk about that gap, the space between knowing you have to leave and actually being able to leave. It is the most important part of this whole pattern, and almost nobody talks about it. The version I've come to trust on this is short and a little uncomfortable. I don't think people who are always late are bad with time. I think they're bad with endings. Watch what actually happens. The clock says you should be walking out the door. You know this. You really know. But you're in the middle of a thing, answering an email, finishing a thought, watching the end of something on screen, just about to fold the laundry that has been on the chair for 2 days. The thing you're in is small, often pointless. It is almost never the reason you're late in the official story. But it is exactly the reason. Because for some people, leaving the thing you are already in is harder than the world realizes. The standard explanation feels a little too neat to me. The one that says you're addicted to last-minute pressure, that your brain craves the rush. There may be something to that, but the longer I look at this pattern, the less sure I am that addicted to crisis really describes it. What I see more often is something quieter. A person who can't quite shut the door on what they're doing now, even when the next thing matters more. There's a way time shows up in some people's bodies that doesn't show up in others. If you have it, you don't usually need a clock. You feel the appointment getting closer. The closer it gets, the more your body starts shifting toward leaving. By the time you actually need to go, you are already partway out the door inside yourself. The leaving doesn't feel like a decision. It feels like a slope you were already on. For other people, the appointment doesn't pull at them. It sits on the calendar like a reminder note, information, not pressure. Time passes outside their body, not inside it. So they make decisions about leaving the way they'd make decisions about anything else in their day, by weighing what they're currently doing against the abstract idea of the thing they have to go to. And the thing they're currently doing almost always wins, because it is real, and the next thing isn't yet. I want to say something here that often gets skipped, because it sounds too kind to the pattern. This isn't laziness. For most people who live with it, the inability to leave a thing once they are inside it is a real, often very old, way of operating. Maybe you grew up in a house where the only way to actually finish something was to do it now, before someone interrupted you. Maybe you learned, early, that the moment you put something down was the moment it disappeared. Maybe attention itself was scarce, and once you found focus, you held on to it, because you'd learned that letting go meant losing it. The pattern that now makes you late once made you survive a particular kind of room. That's the part I find most worth saying carefully. The lateness isn't disrespect. It is a different relationship to whatever is happening right now versus whatever is supposed to happen next. I want to be honest. I used to think of this as a discipline issue. I'm less sure of that now. I have watched too many people who would never disrespect another person on purpose, who bend over backwards in every other way, still arrive late. The pattern doesn't track with how much they care, it tracks with something else. Now look at what living inside this pattern does to you. You wake up resolved. Today is the day. You build a buffer. You actually leave on time once or twice in a month. You feel a small, embarrassing pride. And then a bad week comes, and you arrive flushed at every meeting, and the apology starts to sound rehearsed, even to your own ear. You hate the version of yourself that walks in late. You hate the explanation in your mouth. You start to overcompensate everywhere else. You stay later than anyone. You answer messages immediately to prove you're reliable. You are running a marathon every single day to outrun something that follows you home anyway. Here's the cost most people don't name. It isn't the lost productivity. It isn't even the relationships that quietly cool because someone got tired of waiting at restaurants for you. It is that you have started, slowly, to believe what the world says about you. That you are someone who doesn't care. That sentence has crept into the way you talk to yourself when no one is listening. You start to live like it might be true. And that is a much heavier loss than any missed meeting could ever be. I want to be careful here. I'm not telling you none of this is your responsibility, or that there is a magic reframe that makes lateness disappear. There are real things to do. Build external systems. Set leaving alarms, not arrival alarms. Pad every estimate. Treat your own internal sense of how long things take with a healthy kind of suspicion. But here is the harder, deeper move. Stop trying to fix your relationship with time. Start fixing your relationship with endings. Notice the moment you are supposed to leave the thing you're in. Notice the resistance. Don't fight it. Just look at it. What is it about closing this email, this video, this small corner of the day that feels like a tiny loss? Why does your brain keep trying to extract one more thing before letting it go? You will not always have a clean answer, but asking the question moves the work to the right place. The problem isn't that the clock is broken. The problem is that endings are hard for you, and the clock is just where it shows up most visibly to other people. If you're someone who waits for these people, I want to add one quiet thing. The friend who keeps arriving late is not, most of the time, telling you they don't love you. They are telling you they don't yet know how to leave the thing they were doing before they came to see you. That is its own kind of struggle. And it is not the same struggle as not caring. I keep coming back to one thought about this. The world treats lateness like a math problem. Most of the time, it isn't. It is a leaving problem. And leaving anything you are inside of, even something small, is a thing some people learn early in life, and some people are still, quietly, trying to learn at 40. The next time you are running late, before the apology, before the rush, see if you can name what you couldn't quite leave. You probably already know.